Greetings, this is M squared and we're going to solve some linear equations. Hopefully you have a good memory and you can remember that. Your goal when you solve a linear equation, that's an equation with one variable, notice there's just an x or just a y, it doesn't have an x and a y, is to get the variable alone on one side of the equation. When you do that, you're done, except for checking. You always want to check. So you always want to do the opposites to undo things to get x alone. Remember, the opposite of adding is subtracting, the opposite of multiplication is division, and it doesn't have any here. Squaring is square roots. Those are opposites too. So keep all those things in mind as you solve equations. Okay. We need to get rid of the 8 because our goal is to get the variable, the x, alone. So to get rid of 8, I subtract 8 from both sides. Now I have 5x equals 80. Next, to get rid of a multiply, remember this means multiply, to get rid of multiplication, I divide. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. That's really important when you're solving equations. So the 5's cancel because 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 1 times x is just x. And 5 goes into 8 one time with 3 left over, and 5 goes into 30 6 times. So our answer is 16. I always like to check. So if I'm going to check on my calculator, I put 16 back in. So I say 5 times 16 plus 8. So I just put the 16 back in for the x, and I should get 88. If I don't, I did something wrong, and I can go back and check it. So checking is really important. So we know we're right. 100% on that one. Okay, let's go over here. Notice it has a fraction. Some people just do not like fractions. So get rid of the fraction. And how you get rid of a fraction when you're solving an equation is to multiply by whatever the denominator is if there's only one fraction. If there were more than one fraction, you'd have to multiply by the common denominator to get rid of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply whatever. Remember, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So I actually have to multiply all these parts by 3. I could have just put a parenthesis here and put a 3 on the outside and then distributed it, but I like to just do a little shortcut there. So let's go ahead and multiply. What's 3 times 8? Hopefully you know that's 24. Now what some people do is they'll multiply and then divide later. Remember, multiplication and division have the same priority, an order of operations, so I like to divide first. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. And 1 times y is y, so that's just y. And actually, that's why I did that. Notice there's not a fraction anymore. That's the whole reason I wanted to multiply by that denominator, is to get rid of that fraction. Well, 3 times 46, 6 times 3 is 18, carry the 1, 4 times 3 is 12, so that's 138. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine like terms. These are on the same side. If two variables are on the same side, I can combine them. I don't need to add y or to both sides. I want to combine the variables. So 24y minus y is 23y. That's 138. Let's see. 138 divided by 23 is 6. So now we believe y to equal 6. Let's check it. You always check in the original equation. So 8 times 6 minus 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I'm just going to put a 2 in there, but you could use your fraction and put your fraction key and do that. And that should equal 46, and it does. Checking is so important. If you're on a quiz or a test, you could get 100% on these types of equations if you take the time to check and then go back and find your answers if you're wrong. So please remember to check. Good luck solving equations. This is M squared signing out.